Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Mandy and today I'm going to start a process of setting up my 2023 planner. Now, I really didn't want to do a really long video for this just because if it's an hour for you guys, it probably ended up taking me at least 2 hours just because of the whole like filming and all of that. So I really wanted to be as productive as I can with it because, to be honest, this is like a big deal for me. I really enjoy the process, and sometimes when I'm having to focus too much on filming and all of that, I forget some things, or I'm not able to really follow the steps that I know I need to do. I know that sounds weird, but just doing things for camera and making sure that I'm not wasting time for the camera and for you guys is really important to me, but it also definitely can make it harder to set up a planner or, you know, whatever you're doing. Honestly, like filming, it's not super easy to film something when you're really actually trying to do what you're doing here. Everything that I show you guys, I'm actually using for myself and trying to use in my life. It's not really just like a setup or anything. And I'm not saying other people do setups, but I can totally get it that it basically everything takes at least double the time if you're filming. So I'm going to try to take this in a step-by-step process because I thought maybe that'd be helpful for some of you guys as well. So today, as the title showed, we are going to do my brain dump process for how I'm going to completely get started. Now, even though I already have a planner system happening, obviously that's helpful, but if you're new to planning altogether, this is going to be helpful for you too, because I basically take the same steps. It might take me a little less time, but I take the same steps to do basically evaluate my planning system. And I think, you know, as someone who's new, basically is what I'm trying to say. So the first thing that we're going to go over today is my brain dump process of my categories. What do I want to track? So let me get a pen because I totally forgot to grab a pen already. Do I want erasable or do I want... Let's see, I'm just gonna have a regular pen and then I'm gonna use my friction clicker erasable pen as well. And I'm just going to grab some notebook paper. So what you're seeing here is kind of my homeschool planner slash, I don't know, something I kind of wanted to use for other things as well, but ended up just really being my homeschool planner. I have my big, and this is my catch-all back here, and then I have my classic sized that I just, you know, love classic size, and I do love including it in my happy planner big, but I also like having a smaller planner, whether it's for note-taking or whatever. And I was really trying to figure out if using this for not only homeschool but other things was going to be helpful. I think it is. And I think I want to incorporate it in my new planning system, but I don't know that for sure yet. I don't want to waste anything. I don't want to buy anything I don't need. So what I'm going to do first is, I already have some January stuff in here, but what I'm going to do first is get out some note paper and just start writing down what I want to track. So this is the brain dump process. I'll grab 2 pieces. This is the brain dump process that I go through not only on an annual basis, but pretty much quarterly, I'd say, at least. And I'm just kind of noticing that when I put some, because I want to look at homeschool ahead, I put January in. I also put an undated vertical planner. And I think I got a little excited to use this, thinking that this might be really helpful for me. So I'm just thinking ahead that this could be helpful for some of the categories I'm about to write down. So I'm going to put that up to the side over here, as well as my happy planner big. And I'm just going to start writing down my different, let's see if we can see better here, just the different categories that I want to keep track of. So if you guys need to do this at the same time, come along with me, get out a sheet of paper. It doesn't even have to be a whole sheet, but get out some paper and let's do this. So what I know that I need to track on a daily basis? That's the question that we want to ask ourselves here. What do we need to do on a daily basis? And there's two ways you can go about this. You can go about writing it on a date, like under calling, let's see, call it daily. You could call it, you could put weekly, monthly. Now there's going to be things on all of these, okay? So this might not be the prettiest of lists or anything, but we're brain dumping, okay? So, but I'm also going to list out, I'm going to use a second piece of paper so it doesn't get too crowded here. I'm going to list out just the things I need to track, okay? I'm not going to be on a daily, weekly, monthly basis just yet. I know, let's see, what I want to track. And I don't know if you've been watching any of the videos recently, but I say to keep these papers in a reference section so that way you can go back to them every now and then. Even if you don't use them, you can go back to them and see what your thoughts were when you reevaluate your system. So I know that I need to track home and family. I know that I need to track homeschool. Now, I'm not going over how deep I need to go into any of these categories yet. I'm just writing down the things that I want to be able to look at on one of these bases, daily, weekly, or monthly. Let's see, some Etsy, my budget, and my goals. Okay, I'm going to put my goals / intentionals. Maybe even just priorities. Okay, so this is kind of again, the process that I go through. Then what I need to do, I should probably get out another paper. I think I'm going to put it on the other side of this. If I think of something, I'll go ahead and add it right here. But now what I need to do is I need to figure out what in my home and family I'm going to be keeping track of. Okay, so I think I'm going to change pens just because I like to use my erasable pen when I know I'm going to erase, and this is just a brain dump, so I really don't need to erase when I'm in brain dumping. I can scratch out, it doesn't have to be pretty. So for my home and family, I definitely need to make sure that we have our appointments and events. Whatever's happening, I always need to make sure. And you can always look back. Like I have a successful weekly I like to use. I'm going to open that up here just because I think it'll be helpful for me to not forget anything. But as I said, if you are completely new to the system of planning or just having a planner, maybe my brain dumping will help you. Gosh, where are we here? Come on, there we go. Oh, all the flipping. Okay, so appointments and events. Let's see, home and family. What else do I need to keep track of? Probably our meals or meal planning. What I didn't put here yet, and I knew this was going to happen, was health and fitness. I also want to tell you guys that this doesn't mean I'm going to have this many planners. I know many planners out there will do that, and that I've done that, and I actually love the system, but there were a lot of things that weren't working for me as well. I may go back to that or partial of that this coming year. I'm going to tell you right now, I may do that because I do miss having completely different planners for some things. But overall, my catch-all weekly is such a good blueprint for my week. And I don't like rewriting things multiple times or spending time flipping to other sections of my planner. I just don't have that time right now. So we'll see. But this whole process is going to help me decide on that. So for home and family, I need appointments and events, meals and meal planning. I also need to track cleaning, which I call home care. Like within that, I'm actually going to go, and we're brain dumping. So there's really no rules here. I'm going to say zones, home blessing. These are part of the Fly Lady lingo here. But whatever system you've kind of found helpful for you, if you're not sure about a system, this is a good system, I think. And then I also have some things in my Etsy shop that could be a helpful start for you if you want to check that out. That's linked down below. So zones, home blessing, I kind of do laundry separately. I just have a whole little thing with that. And the other thing is just the day-to-day like admin. And what I mean by that, I could probably do a whole nother video on this too, is what do I need to do on a daily basis to make my home run smoothly for me to feel like I'm on top of things and things aren't, you know, spiraling out of control. So for example, you know, do I need to, like, it sounds silly, but I see it written on my weekly here. Like, do I need to go through my photos and favorite them? Because it's really important to me to make sure I keep track of having photos and stuff like that for us to look back on. So, that's, you know, that's just an example. But maybe part of my day-to-day admin is making sure I get a planning session in there. So home and family, because the planning session is, you know, helpful for me in my home and family, that might be where I put that. Okay, so homeschool, I'm going to go over, let's see, I do want to keep track of our lessons. I don't do like detailed, super details. I just kind of write them out and make sure that I have a guide for me for the week. Let's see, I also keep track of, let me look back in my homeschool planner over here. I also like to keep track of, I'm going to put field trips, adventures is what because sometimes we don't do like a huge field trip, but we'll do an adventure at least every week. That could be like a park visit. I like to use like my routines. I don't know if you could see that. I like to use my routine style in my homeschool for our daily warm-ups. So what we do on a daily basis, whether it's warm-ups or I just like to do that. Again, all of these guide me. They kind of help me not to have to think about them, and I just go through them. So I also do science and history a little bit differently than our like math and language. And what else? Projects. Different projects that are going on and where they're at. That's important to me to track where they're at each week. Otherwise, we don't get to them. Oh, another thing, because homeschool is like home life, let's see what we're cooking or baking. So basically, I write down our practical life skills. And then just notes to myself, notes or upcomings. Like if I need to, you know, research a certain curriculum or whatnot, like that's really helpful. So as I'm doing this, I want to show you guys, as you do this as well, you'll be able to kind of see, wow, that's a lot. I might actually need a whole planner for that. I thought that I only really needed to keep track of homeschool in one section, which I actually do. I can keep track of homeschool on my weekly, so I'm not having to flip to a whole bunch of different sections throughout the day. And I would basically, I'm kind of pointing here, like I could put my homeschool lessons here with my children and my top, you know, things to do with them. But I might actually need a whole planner in order to feel organized with all these things throughout the week. So on a daily basis, you know, I would look at my weekly and have my daily things on there but on the whole overall weekly. I might have a whole nother planner for that. So this is why it's so helpful to do a brain dumping session. I know it was kind of weird. I thought, how am I going to do a video on just talking about how I'm going to brain dump? But look, it's already like 15 minutes long. Okay, so the other things that I want to keep track of, I said, was YouTube. So for YouTube, I really just need to kind of plan videos, like pre-plan. I should put pre-plan videos. And I need to have room for video ideas, whoops, and notes for those ideas. I really don't need to do a whole lot of other things for this. So that's going to be helpful in evaluating whether I need a whole planner for it or not. And with Etsy, this is more like to-dos. What do I need to do? Make a plan for each for each creation. Lots of notes, ideas. Okay, so in the past I've been able to kind of combine this and just have like a tab in the middle. So we'll see how that goes. Let's see, I'm gonna skip budget. I already have all of that. It's like together. I just need to go over my categories probably, but I really don't need to figure out whether I need like a planning system for that. My goals, intentions, and priorities. I feel like all these categories are my goals and intentions. So let's see, I'll go ahead and make a section for it. I'm running out of space here. My goals are my fitness, peaceful home, my marriage. So this is when it's like, well, I guess I'm going to write down my goals to see what I need to track. And my kids, and personal, what I just need personally. And then health and fitness. What do I need to track for that? So I'm kind of at a completely different area in life with this. But what I do need to and want to keep doing is figuring out my workouts, my water, my food, pre and logging. So, and what else do I need to track for this? I think I do want to do, I don't know, before and afters. Is that kind of a thing? Or before, after, or like monthly reviews? We'll see. So I'm sure there's going to be more that I'm going to add on to these, you guys, but this is pretty much where I've come with this. This is a super helpful way that I can figure out if I'm going to need a whole planner for it. Now I'm realizing. So the next thing that I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to go ahead and take all of these items and figure out what I need to do on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, and figure out what my planner lineup needs to be, what kind of planners I need, what different, how many different planners I want, if I want to use a catch-all system, all that stuff. So I hope this video has been helpful for you. Join me for the next one as I do all of what I just said, and let me know if you guys are doing this along with me. Also, what are your categories? Do you guys have this many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-ish. With budget, that would be 7. Do you guys have less? Do you guys keep track of all these things? Am I the only one? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for being here. Have a wonderful, beautiful, blessed day, and I'll see you for the next one.